Welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show. Next half hour will be no holds barred, good food talk with the food guys, and a new guest to the show that is going to help spread the love of food with everyone with a new blog and a new podcast. And joining me in the studio, Michael Roberts with Arkansas Foodies, Daniel Walker with Eat Arkansas, and Steve Shuler. He is new to the show, and he has just launched a food blog and website, and we'll start a podcast, and it is Little Rock Foodcast. So Steve, Michael, and Daniel, great to have you here.
Morning. Morning.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to let folks know, if you're around your computer, or jot this down, lrfoodcast.com. And you will see it has podcasts, blog, top fives, and all about the blog, and the posts are up now. And you'll start, the site is up and the blog is up. You'll start podcasts on Monday, and that's key. But first off, why did you come up with this idea?
Well, my entire vision was to just have a contribution that would help impact the Little Rock food scene. We have great reviewers already. These two sitting over here do fantastic reviews. There are other great reviewers. I could do recipes, but there's people doing great recipes out there.
Michael's one.
Yeah, absolutely, and he does both.
Right, right.
So my background is in broadcast journalism, and I was listening to the Alton Brown cast one day, and I thought, well, why not do a podcast? And
right.
The more people I talked to in Little Rock, the better the idea started to sound. Chefs and restaurants and bloggers got on board with it, and it's one of those things that I hope it takes off. We're going to see. Right.
Well, you are dead on in that Little Rock has a very healthy and anxious and very engaged food community. And I see it growing. Folks that come here, friends that come out of town, talk about the great restaurants that we have, unique, not just the chains, but really unique. Chains are great, but the unique food restaurants that we have. But one of your most recent posts is one that I want us to talk about a little bit. You say, being a foodie, and you consider yourself a foodie. I think all of us here consider ourselves foodie. And it may have gotten a bad rap in recent years because people tend to think a food snob. Talk about that. Tell us, Steve, we'll start with you, and then I want everyone to talk about what does it mean to be a foodie?
So the popular perception of a foodie is simply that someone who only eats certain food, refuses to eat other foods because of maybe it's not locally sourced, or maybe it's not organic, or maybe it's not the best trendy restaurant in town. That's not what we want the image of a foodie to be. A foodie basically is a lover of food. All of us at the table get excited when a great dish is presented, whether it's at someone's home, whether it's at a rundown joint off the side of the road, or whether it's an elite restaurant like Ashley's or Table 28 here in town. That's the image that we want to put out. It's not snobbery necessarily. It's
right.
Our hobby. It's our passion. And so when we have that passion, we are going to be a little bit harder on the examples of food in town that aren't that good, but we're also going to be very much more effusive in our praise of the best ones. It's what we love, and we really want to make sure that we're open and inviting to anybody who wants to join into the foodie community here.
All right, so Michael and Daniel are both foodies, and when someone that's not familiar with this world, Michael, how would you explain it in that you're a foodie but not a food snob?
I think the main goal that we all have, and a lot of the other food writers that are in town have, is more of an education. Kat Robinson, who's Daniel and my predecessor at Eat Arkansas, and she works for the state, has done a lot over the years of going to out-of-the-way places and talking about them. And sometimes it's biscuits and gravy, sometimes it's fried chicken or pie. We've tried to continue that idea. It's more of not being, we're so awesome, we've eaten at all these places. It's more of, hey, we ate at this place. Here's what we like. If you try it and you like it, give us some feedback and tell us so we can have a conversation.
Right.
And the more people that we can bring into that conversation, the happier we are, because it's not an elite club. Anybody who's ever seen me in person knows I could not belong to an elite club. But it's more of educating people about what's out there, getting people to try our local vendors and cooks and chefs, and it's that more than any kind of elite snobbery. I would think.
So Daniel, how would you explain how it is to be what is a foodie or a food snob, or how would you characterize your involvement in the scene?
Well, I think it's a funny question because when I used to write in Dallas before I moved to Little Rock, my editor actually told me she did not want me to use the word foodie in any of my posts. And so it was kind of this stigma associated with foodies. And I don't know if it was just too hard to define or what the perception was that she kind of had. But, and we, here in Little Rock, I think that everyone who I know who's a quote foodie has really embraced it. And like these guys both said, I mean, we're just here to promote the hard work that a lot of our local, restaurateurs and growers and are all doing. I mean, they put so much work into this, and I feel like it's such a small part that we can do to, write a short post and express how much we appreciate them. And I think that's what really gets me excited about food is really meeting the people and getting involved in their lives as much as possible.
And I think what's fun about this is that folks can, and you guys have been brutally honest with some places you've been, but you give the good, the bad, and the ugly sometimes. But when you guys really like something, it's very, very evident. And I think that's important. Folks want to know, when they go someplace, they've heard from someone who might be a critic that may have a specific reason for saying something, but you guys call it like you see it, which is what people want. Even when it's people that you know personally, you call it like you see it. And I think that's what's good about what you guys do on your blogs. On this Little Rock Foodcast, I encourage folks to go to lrfoodcast.com, and the blog and the site are up now. The podcast will start on Monday. But one of the aspects on here, you have the top fives. And this is something, the good thing about doing something like this is you focus group your friends, and then you come up with these ideas. And one of them is the top fives. Tell me about that.
So the top fives came about when I was talking to a friend and trying to give her a great place to go take her family who's coming from out of town. When you give a recommendation, you don't usually say you just go to this restaurant, because usually it'll be, oh, I've been there before, where else? Or give me a range of choices. So those top fives are the top five vote getters out of a panel of more than a dozen foodies and bloggers and these two. And, we all just came together and brought our opinion together. And that's where the top fives come from. This is not the end-all, be-all list of great food in Little Rock. I don't want it to be that. What I want it to be is, I'm hungry. Let's see what I haven't tried before. And this should be a good guide of food that's representative of the great culinary scene we have here. Okay.
And then one of the key features that will kick off Monday is the podcast. What will folks see there? So the podcast, at least this week, launch week, starting Monday through Friday, will be 5 podcasts in 5 days. All of launch week, there will be chefs, restaurant owners, etc., talking with us, and it's about their restaurant, but it's also about their history. It's about their families. It's about the way that their love of food and their business got started. Monday, we're starting with Alan Bubbas of David's Burgers. If you've been inside of David's Burgers, you know that family is hugely important to him. Right. And he talks about those pictures on the wall. He talks about wanting to make his family proud. But he also talks a lot about his beef, how he selects, the meat, his how he cares for the product that comes out, why he gives free refills on fries. There's a lot of great behind-the-scenes information there. I really hope people enjoy it. It's going to be a look you don't usually get at your favorite restaurants and chefs, and perhaps you'll find a new place you want to eat. Right, and we know Michael and Daniel are food writers and write on other sites. Are you guys now going to be in competition, or how is that going to work?
We've always been in competition. Steve is going down.
Not just for the extra fries you get at Dave's Burgers.
When it comes to Eat Arkansas, we like to say that there really is no competition, but that's just because we're a little conceited. But there's really not. If there is competition, it's a friendly one. Right. I know that, like Emily Van Zant, who writes for Sync, does a lot of food reviews for Sync. We like to pick at each other on Twitter sometimes when we both have covered the same place, but it's just kind of a joke because we all consider anybody who promotes local food to kind of be in the brotherhood or the sisterhood, if you will. Right. Not as opposing forces. Right. Because it's all about the chefs and the food.
And that's the thing. I want people to come to the Little Rock Foodcast. I also want people to read Eat Arkansas and read The Mighty Rib and read Sync and read Arkansas Mirepoix and all the other great blogs we have out here. This is a community of food lovers, and we're really just trying to help promote the great food that we have here. And
I think there's so many different components of being a foodie. Is what your site will be able to do is looking at restaurants around town and giving good recommendations. When people come from out of town, they want to know. A lot of restaurants we have here may change, may go through renovations, and it's a new reason to get folks to get back out there and give it another try or try it again. And you guys keep up with that. What the good thing I see with the different food blogs that we have out there is, Michael, you and your wife do a lot of cooking, and I love seeing the pictures you post and the recipes, and it's a great way to try something new, and I've done that with a lot of your stuff. And Daniel, you have the opportunity, you go out, seems like a little bit more, and you take pictures of the food out and talk about that. I think it's a great mix. Some people want to try new and different places out. Some people like to cook, so it's a really good mix, and I think that's what makes all of this, as you say, friendly competition, but it adds to the foodie conversation.
I still don't think that Little Rock is at the point right now where we need to have harsh competition. Everyone is really friendly with each other, and we promote each other. I think that's where we are at right now at the food scene.
Yeah, I think it's great. And one of the things, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about what we often do is some of our new places that many folks haven't tried. But with the Super Bowl coming up right around the corner, I want to hear what your favorite Super Bowl snacks are, what you plan to have on the table. I've got a couple in mind, and we'll talk about that. But I'll encourage folks to go to the new food blog and podcast coming up, lrfoodcast.com. We'll be back after this with Michael, Daniel, and Steve on the Alice Stewart Show. All right, the Super Bowl is right around the corner, and this is generally, obviously, for some folks, it is a nice cold beverage. But for me, I like to watch the commercials, and B, to get together with friends and see appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. And here's a fun fact about the Super Bowl. Americans will eat 1,830,000 football fields worth of wings on Super Bowl Sunday.
Nice.
That's a lot.
How many are you eating, Alice?
I'm going to probably eat about a dozen.
I think Dan could probably get to the 40-yard line before he got full.
And where do you like wings? You like Buffalo Wild Wings?
I like Buffalo Wild Wings. It's good because you can get so many different flavors. I like the Asian fusion ones. Those are
the
really
wings at Zaza's. I'm telling you, they're awesome.
I'll have to try that. I'll try. Beer on Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl watchers will down 325 million gallons of beer.
That's just boosting the economy.
It is. And one more little fact, so many different varieties of chips, 11 million pounds of chips will be tried, eaten on. That's a lot. Okay, I want to ask you guys this. You're the food experts. Steve, if you're going out to watch a sporting event, grab some food, where would you go? Where do you like to go in Little Rock?
There's a few places. Actually, I have a superstition with, I'm a graduate of the University of South Carolina, and when my Gamecocks play a big game, I always go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I have a ton of superstitions there that you'll ridicule me if I reveal. But if I'm just going to watch, for a great atmosphere to watch the game, there are a couple of pretty good places. West End is hard to beat when it comes to local sports. I remember when Jermaine Taylor was doing his thing back in 2006, 2007. West End was amazing. I'm also a huge soccer fan. Vino's does some great soccer stuff during the World Cup, as does Cregan's in North Little Rock. So
those are good about that.
Yeah, those are some good ones for the Socceroos. But when it comes to good old football games, Saturdays and Sundays in the South, it's kind of hard to beat like a Buffalo Wild Wings West End. The more TVs, the better.
Yeah, I agree. Michael?
I think the Tavern Sports Bar out there in West Little Rock is one of my favorites. My wife and I are big fans of fried pickles, and they do pretty good fried pickles out there. They also do some pretty decent sandwiches, but they've got televisions just lining the walls. So if you want to do kind of an attention deficit football watching day, they definitely can get you covered. And usually they've got drink specials and things, so...
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. All the screens of all shapes and sizes are. I'm
really with Steve. Vino's is one of my favorite places. Yeah. They don't have the biggest televisions, it's just it's a great atmosphere and great beer there that they do. So I enjoy that just for the atmosphere.
Right. Daniel, what about you?
These guys ridicule me all the time because they know I know almost nothing about sports. I'm just such a food nerd, but. I do like to get together with friends, and I enjoy a football game now and then. And I think that this year I'm going to make roasted pecans, sugar roasted pecans.
That sounds good.
And I had put up kind of a recipe up on our blog a while back, and they are addictive. And so I'll probably make those this year.
Okay, and I will probably make something I made last week. It's shrimp and scallion bites, and you roll it up in phyllo dough, and you put butter on it, and it's layers of crispy, ooey goodness, and then it's got that red curry sauce that I love to make. So a little fancier for Super Bowl, but it's my latest favorite. Steve, what about you? Your Super Bowl hors d'oeuvre?
Well, usually I have a set menu, and it involves crowd pleasers. The thing with the Super Bowl menu when you're planning it, you got to prepare for two people. One, the person who just wants to snack, and two, the person who wants to get full. So your menu has to cater to both people. Normally, what I do is a mixture of wings, tenders, and quesadillas because those all fit the bill. But last year I tried something new to try to make it a little bit more healthy, and it was a hummus bar. And the idea is a massive amount of just this base roasted garlic hummus, and it's a simple recipe, 6 ingredients. And then from there, you just include both soft and firm pita chips, and then you just do toppings. And you might ask yourself, you might not know what toppings are for hummus, but it could be anything as simple as feta cheese, pine nuts, an olive salad, or anything as exotic as sumac with olive oil. It's really a good way to meet both your crowds and also to maybe keep your blood pressure down a little bit.
Maybe some bacon bits.
Bacon is good
Love
with
that
anything.
bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon's good with anything.
I'm the guy who wants to get full. So just so you know, I'm not there to snack. I'm there to eat.
Just bring like a big loaf of bread and spread some hummus on it. No, the hummus bar is a great idea, and I love to make hummus and put, whether it's sun-dried tomatoes or peppers in it. It's good.
It's just so versatile, and there's so many ways you can make it delicious for any crowd.
Right. Michael, your best Super Bowl hors d'oeuvre.
I think the key to preparing for any kind of game, as far as eats goes, is do things that you can prepare in advance.
Right.
And that you will not have to be high maintenance. You don't want to necessarily have things you got to put in a chafing dish and babysit. For me, last year I made a pate, big bacon wrapped pate. That was great. I could make it a day or two in advance and just pull it out and slice it. Throw some, pickles and bread and things. Any kind of thing like that. Rillettes would be really good. Because you can serve that with anything, and it's all it's meat, but it's not heavy, really bad. You can eat snack on it, and it doesn't go bad because it's nice and preserved.
No, that sounds great, and that is good advice. Something prepared ahead if you can, because at the last minute you're always running around.
A pot of chili never goes wrong because that's something that even if you turn it off, somebody can throw it in the microwave during halftime if they want to. That's always kind of a good backup dish. That you can prepare the day before. Yeah,
those are good. It's always it's good to have certain unique things that you make. The hummus bar is a great idea. I might try that. But certain things you make, but then just the standard, chips and salsa is always good too. But thanks, guys, for coming in. It's always great to talk food. I encourage folks to go to lrfoodcast.com. It is going to be the latest place to go for all about food. The blog and site are up now. The podcast begins on Monday, so check that out. That is a creation of Steve Shuler, so lrfoodcast.com. Michael Roberts and Daniel Walker, guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.